Okay guys, here's a quick video I'm going to show you. There's not a whole lot online, but here's an idea for doing some moto camping when you have a treeless or only one tree that does not have necessarily a second tree nearby for a nice hammocking. So here I have a Tensa trekking tree, which is part of the trekking tree set that my wife uses for hiking, but I also use it when I go on my moto camping for if I need to sling a hammock using my superior gear and I don't have an adequate distance between the trees. So here's the basic equipment for the trekking tree. You got the trekking tree itself in hiking mode. I have a 13-inch boom stake. This is going to be for your hammock mode for the tree. This is your extender, and this is going to be the TLC should you want to put on a tarp, so it gives a little bit of flex. And this is your hub, and these are your guy lines to anchor out the trekking tree in hammock mode. So right here, this bottom section is the foot. I'm going to take this off and put on the extension and then put on the base for hammock mode. So like I was saying, I'm going to take off this orange cap and remove the wrist strap, and then in place I'm going to put on the hub and replace the orange cap. Okay, as you can see here, I have removed the wrist strap by just simply unscrewing the orange cap and put on this aluminum hub here. This is so you can sling the continuous loop of your hammock, and then on these two you can put on your guy lines for anchoring out. So to start out, I'm going to go ahead and lower this from hiking mode because it has to be in the negative position, or at least all the way down for when you hang a hammock, and then just tighten it back up. Okay, so here you can see I have my continuous loop for my hammock hooked onto one end of the hub, and then on these other two I have the guy lines already pre-established. I have run the guy lines out as far as what seems to be reasonably possible, and then per the instructions I got them roughly 6 feet apart from the boom stake. Boom stake's already in, roughly 6 feet apart. Just hammer them in. And then I'm going to take this end of the continuous loop, I'm going to put it over this stake right here, and then you got to make a loop here. Just make a loop, and the loop goes over the end of the aluminum like that. With the continuous loop on the side of the stake. So what this does is it pulls horizontally here, and then the pressure is applied across the ground, keeping the stake from pulling out, and you want this as close to the end, and you repeat on the second one. Okay, so right there and right here you can see the 2 stakes and the guy lines already established to the hammock. I'm going to come up here to the Tensa tree and set her up. I'm going to set this at a slight angle, about like that, and then I'm going to tighten up these lines. So as most people, or a lot of people know, to tighten up a line, you just take in the slack here on the whoopee sling, and then when you get it to the right length and the tautness that you want, you will milk the berry, which is just working this down so it constricts, and you do that on both sides. And as you can see, both lines are fairly taut. They're not super tight, but they're taut, and they're roughly 6 feet apart. I'll show you what it looks like straight to the hammock. It's about like that. And you can see that I have the trekking tree at a slight angle. Now if you change the angle of the, how plumb it is, what have you, it's going to depend on how much tension is on the guy lines versus the trekking tree itself. And here's my superior hammock, and do a quick test. So here we go, superior hammock. Just going to sit down, and eureka! There they are. I don't know if you can see the lines. Got just a little bit of slack in it to a tree right there. So using a strap from superior gear, and hopefully right there you can see in the back the line, and here I am kind of bouncing. There we go, found it. You can see I'm bouncing, it's holding tight. Same thing with the other one over there. Oh, and one last comment. I would say it literally only took about 5 minutes to do all that with pause and go of setting this up. 5 to 7 minutes. That includes the strap and the hammock itself. Takedowns, a couple more minutes other than that.